What is the most interesting note you've ever gotten from someone while you were doing research for a certain role?
Wow. Wow, that's a what's wrong with you asking intelligent questions?
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Gentlemen, this is an honor and always good to see both of you. Thank you for taking the
Good to see you,
time.
man.
Thank you.
Mr. Thornton, the last time you and I were together here in Chicago, I mentioned obviously I love the show, but how much my dad loves the show.
Yes.
And he worked in oil and gas in Texas. He was a roughneck. And he says that so many of the things that most movies and TV shows get wrong about his business, you guys get right down to the smallest detail. I'm curious for both of you. You've both played so many different professions, types of men over your careers. And I know you do a lot of research and you talk with people to get it right. What is the most interesting note you've ever gotten from someone while you were doing research for a certain role?
Wow. Wow, that's a what's wrong with you asking intelligent questions?
You told me what you do when you don't like a question, so I got to avoid that.
Normally it's like, what drew you to this role? And now you've asked us something real. We got to think now.
What was it like working together?
Yeah, right.
Were there any pranks on set?
That's awesome. Well, let's see. The best advice, in terms of researching something. Well, when I did this movie called Pushing 10, and it was about air traffic controllers, which right now that's a thing,
Yeah.
And I actually went to air traffic control school.
You could probably get a job right now.
I probably could. I know how to land a plane in Newark, New Jersey. Other than that, no. But
You wouldn't get paid for it, but you could go to
right.
work.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I remember one of the controllers that I trained with. He said to me, "You have to develop a visual of everything in front of you." He said you have to learn to not think in words and thoughts, but in pictures, because they're looking at the scope and there are all these airplanes and you're in charge of certain ones. And look at the pattern of the ones that you're responsible for and get that in your head. And sure enough, in the dialogue, it was, when I had to actually do it in the movie, that really helped me, quite a bit.
That's fascinating. I love that. Mr. Elliott, do you have one that comes to mind?
Boy, I have an encounter that comes to mind that meant a lot to me in terms of where I was going to go with some character. I did a show called Gettysburg years ago and played this character. John Buford was his name. He was a general for the Northern Army, and I'd done a little research on him before I got there, and was really it's an interesting thing to play real life characters, people that were there, and particularly somebody that was someone that is such a integral part of history, and I was a little overwhelmed by that when I got there, when we shot right there in Gettysburg. And I got there and I met this gentleman that he became a close friend. Sam was his name, and he's no longer with us. And he was a Vietnam vet. And, we became very close, but he knew that and I talked to him, I was very open with him and said, fuck, man, I don't know how I even got involved in this thing and what I'm going to do with this guy. And he said, I want to show you something tonight. This was in the middle of the day. And so that evening he took me out, and there was a statue of Buford on a horse. And there was some little, plaque underneath it about him. But it was just a visual. It was a life-size statue in bronze. And I was just kind of there looking at it, and walked around and looked from different perspectives. And at some point, a shooting star went right over his shoulder while I was looking at it. And it just, I don't know, on some level, I took it as a sign of something, I guess, that everything was going to be okay. And, I ended up having one of the greatest times. I had a couple of really nice speeches to say in it, and was riding in a flat saddle, which was always a test, a lot of fun. So I think that would be my moment.
Thank you for sharing that. It's a beautiful performance. So I appreciate you telling me about that. Guys, they're pulling me. I got 10,000 more questions. They're telling me I got to go.
See, this is what happens to you when you ask intelligent questions. You get actual answers back.
Honest to God, you and I have been doing this a long time, sir. I would rather good answers out of you guys than what attracted you to the role.
You're a champion, dude.
I love you guys. This was a real honor for me. Really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.